Get a lot of questions about what fixed gear components people should upgrade to. Should I get Mikkei's, 75s, Omniums, or Andels? Should I get a steel or an aluminum frame set? I have $800 burning a hole in my pocket. What wheels should I get? There are too many dang choices. And the answer is always, it depends. If you're like me, you probably hate shopping. I'm a recovering perfectionist when it comes to my bike, and Lord knows that I've spent way too much time looking at bike parts instead of actually just riding and enjoying my bike. So if you also struggle with that issue, I'm here to help you and to simplify the process of upgrading your bike. Here is the right way to upgrade so you can spend less time looking at bike parts and more time actually riding a bike that you'll love. What's up? I'm Gallardo. Life is short, but don't make it shorter, so ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous, and subscribe to watch more fixed gear videos just like this one. For steel bikes that weigh well under 20 pounds or 9 kilograms that you can customize to be your dream bike right out of the box, consider checking out Wabi Cycles, linked at the top of the description. The topics we'll be talking about in this video come from the book The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. You can find that book linked in the description. In this video, we'll talk about how people make choices the wrong way to upgrade your bike, the right way, and my thought process that I use while I'm choosing my upgrades. People fall into two camps when making choices. There's maximizers and there's satisficers. Maximizers are people who want to make the best choice possible. And in order to make the best choice possible, you need to know everything about all of your choices. Satisficers, on the other hand, they have a few criteria, and once they find something that meets their criteria, they make that choice and they stick with it and they're happy. The problem with trying to make the best choice possible and being a maximizer in this day and age is that now, more than ever, over the course of human history, we have more choices. And then if you're always trying to make the perfect choice, you're going to end up wasting a lot of time. And even if you do make the perfect choice, you're going to feel like there might be something out there that will be better than the choice that you made. To be efficient with the limited time that we have here on this earth, we need to define what is good enough for our own personal uses. Without that clear definition, we start to shop around endlessly looking for the perfect bike components that may or may not exist, and spending a lot of time being dissatisfied. When we use that maximizer point of view and start shopping around for upgrades from the bottom up, as in looking at stuff and then checking if we want it, we start to get lost in details and we lose the forest for the trees. Should I get a steel or an aluminum frame set? Should I get a threadless or a threaded headset? Do I want 25.4, 26.0, or 31.8 handlebars? Do I want carbon or aluminum wheels? How many spokes should I get? 24, 32, 20, 24? The problem with this method of approaching upgrades is that it's just floundering around, hoping that we come across something that will be best for us when we don't even know what's best for us. So here's how to spec an awesome bike efficiently that you'll love to ride. This is the satisficer method, the top-down method, where we simply say what we want, we choose something that's good enough. To do that, we need to clearly define a bike's purpose, and that will guide exactly what we're looking for. My bike's purpose is to be a stupidly fun, dang good looking, modern, classically styled bike that can comfortably handle 100-mile rides. For me, stupidly fun means a lively and springy ride quality, which guides me to choosing a bike made out of high-quality steel. Incidentally, high-quality steel also makes the bike a bit more comfortable for long distances. And a fixed-gear drivetrain is by far the most fun that I've ever had on a bike, so that's what I'm going to ride. Riding a reliable, low-maintenance bike is also a lot more fun for me. The fixed-gear drivetrain helps with that, but speccing high-quality components and sealed bearing everything will also serve that purpose. And since I wanted to look like a modern classic, lugs are a plus, and a 26.0 cockpit to match the elegant steel tubing is also a must. To find the upgrades that will be best for you, you need to clearly define your must-haves versus your nice-to-haves. For example, I'm currently stem shopping. I'm looking for a stem that's under $100, 90 millimeters, threadless with a 26.0 clamp, and a -17-degree angle because I absolutely love it when the stem is parallel with the top tube. It needs to be made out of aluminum or steel for reliability. Since I have a pretty healthy budget, I wanted to give my bike Fixie points, meaning having good craftsmanship from a reputable brand. And it needs to be black since I'm swapping my build over to black components. Some non-essentials that would be nice to have are minimal decals, a tall stack for a cleaner cockpit, but for some reason all the -17-degree tall stack stems are 31.8. That makes no sense to me. And it would be nice if it was a lugged stem. Checking off all of my must-haves, my choices are the Nitto UI86BX, the Nitto UI2, or the Wabi lugged stem. None of these are perfect though. I have to choose between ugly decals, unsightly welds, or a less than ideal finish. But because I clearly defined the specifications for the stem, which were guided by the purpose of my bike, these are the closest things that I'll get to my perfect stem. When you have a clearly defined purpose for your bike shopping and upgrading stops being this anxiety-inducing experience where it feels like you're comparing the tiny little details of everything. Instead, it becomes a simple information search. Which components check off all of my must-haves? Out of that small pool of components, which one do I like the most? Even if you really like something, such as I really like Thompson stems, but they don't come in 26.0 -17 degrees. It's simply not an option because it does not check my must-haves. This method is simple, efficient, and it leads to choices that you'll be happy with. A problem that a lot of people run into is that some people just don't know what they want and have difficulty defining must-haves and nice-to-haves. And if you're in this boat, I recommend just riding your bike until you figure out what are must-haves and nice-to-haves. If you're thinking about upgrading and you simply don't know what you want, you don't need to upgrade yet. To drive the point home, here's some other examples of what goes on in my head when I'm searching for bike upgrades. For my cranks, I'm looking for crank arms that are under $200. Our 144 BCD have classic styling, are square taper with a sealed bearing bottom bracket for reliability, have minimal decals, and are plenty stiff for sprinting and climbing up hills. It would be nice to have a black crank set and something that gave me Fixie points. According to my criteria, my current Andel cranks are perfectly fine, but a pair of used black Sugino 75s would be perfect. We could do this all day. For my shirts, I like to have dark gray or black shirts made out of cotton, a bike-related minimalist design with an ironic statement. These reasonably dangerous shirts are available until October 7th. Be sure to swoop one while you still have the chance, or don't if this shirt doesn't fit your criteria. You can check the shirts out linked in the description. And lastly, here's why I ride my current bike. This is perhaps the most important component to choose correctly. The frame set. My must-haves for the frame set, it needs to be under $800. Sometimes people steal bikes and I'm not made of money. It needs to be a steel fixed gear because that's what I have the most fun riding. It needs to have good craftsmanship but not be overly flashy as to not be a giant signpost to thieves. The frame set needs to have a fun ride quality for the street, meaning track or track-ish geometry. It's to come from a reliable, trusted brand, have tasteful styling, and have clearance for at least 28C tires. For my nice-to-haves, here's my biggest one. Lugs. Reynolds 725 steel or higher to make for a lighter frame set. I'm a sucker for sparkly paint, so that would be nice. And fat tire clearance for 38C or more would also be nice. Accordingly, my choices are the All-City Big Block, Soma Rush, EAI Bare Knuckle, Wabi Special, Classic, and Thunder, and the Surly Steamroller. All of these choices, only one of them hits my most important nice-to-have criteria. Only the Wabi Special has lugs. And on top of that, the Wabis are the only bikes in my pool of choices that check the Reynolds 725 box while they're at it. For me, the Wabi Special was a no-brainer, which is why I immediately fell in love with it when I built it up and rode it for the first time. But just because it's perfect for me and my needs and wants doesn't mean it'll be perfect for you. You need to define your bike's purpose and how your specifications intend to achieve that purpose. To efficiently and confidently spec a bike that you'll love, you first need to define your budget. Second, clearly define its purpose. including your bike's must-haves and nice-to-haves. 3, rank your criteria from most to least important. And 4, find some bike components that check all of your must-haves, and then get one of those components from that pool of narrow options, enjoy it, and be done shopping. And if you're interested in Wabi and why I chose them to be the sponsor for the channel, feel free to check them out, linked at the top of the description. And if you dislike this video, let me know with a thumbs down. But if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to watch more fixed gear videos just like this one. And if you haven't ridden your bike yet today, stop watching me right now, because life is short, but don't make it shorter. So ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous.